back to Cheat Code Jiu-Jitsu. Jeff here again. We're still looking to level up our submissions from the side control, and we've been looking at side control when he's got the far side underhook and I have an overhook on the far side arm. So last video we talked about properly controlling that far side overhook. When Donovan sits up, I'm going to crush it and I'm going to dig, and I want to keep my overhook right about at his elbow so he can't get it any higher. And now I'm looking to wrap the head, go to the elbow, and push his arm out and slide my knee in. So from here, my most basic submission, I probably catch this more than any other submission, is the arm in guillotine from this position. I'll show you in a minute exactly what I'm doing as far as a grip. What I'm going to do is once I've got this hand out of the way, he can't bring it back in to defend his neck. This arm is out of the way because I've got a tight overhook on that and it's around my body. So my hands come in, they connect, and where I'm going to go from here is if I've got him distracted enough that he's not paying attention with his legs and he doesn't block it properly, I can step over. I never take the weight off of him, and I can either finish my guillotine from right there, or I can even go down into mount and finish the guillotine. Option number two is I'm going to lean back a little bit, give him a little bit of daylight. He thinks the weight's coming off so he can come up. Bottom foot goes right there to the hip. Top foot comes up here across the back. And now I'm going to squeeze and finish the guillotine. So let's talk about some of the fine details, the little cheats that are going to help you finish that off. The first is the grip. When you're finishing any kind of choke, the most important thing that you want to do is you want to get the blade, the sharp part of your wrist, up against his throat. If I do, for example, an S grip on a guillotine, that's usually going to put the flat part of my wrist up against his throat. I might still be able to finish that if I've got a really good squeeze, but ideally I want the sharp blade in there to make it easier to finish. When I lock up my guillotines, specifically this arm-in guillotine, come up, Turtle. The usual grip that most people do for guillotines is right there, back of the hand against his shoulder, palm facing out, and then they come over and they grab here. That works, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a better way to do it, and the better way to do it is the reverse gable grip, especially for arm-in guillotines. So what I do here is I'm going to be putting my arm over here in a minute. This hand goes around the head, this hand can come around here. What I want you to imagine to set the reverse gable grip up is imagine that I came in here and Donovan tucked his chin. And now, to get access to underneath of his chin, I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to turn it towards me to roll his chin out. Now 99% of the time that's not actually what's going to happen, but that's a good rule of thumb for me to remember which hand to turn and which direction to turn it. What this is going to do is it's going to put the back part of the blade of my wrist right up against his throat. Doing it from the left side, right in here, this goes around the head, that turns out. This hand is going to come around through the armpit, and I'm going to grab a hold of my thumb. That's a reverse gable grip. And I'm going to pinch it in. There is a related grip called a pretzel grip, where this hand doesn't move, the other one comes in and turns over. That's a good grip too, but I don't like that for arm-in guillotines. There's other stuff that I like to use that for. For this, we're going to use a reverse gable grip, turn this over, reach in, grab around by the thumb. The other important factor to finishing an arm-in guillotine is if I've got a regular guillotine, all neck, no arm. In order to finish this, all I've really got to do is just lock and then pull straight north. And all my weight goes directly into his throat. The problem when I have the arm in is if I do that same pull and I just pull everything vertical, this is going to be very uncomfortable for him, but most people are not going to tap out to this. And the reason is because most of my weight is going into his chest. I'm pulling up into the chest, not up into the throat. It doesn't do anything to the carotid on this side, kind of closes the carotid over here a little bit, doesn't do a whole lot to his trachea. I'm not going to finish it that way. So my secret to finishing this is when I get my reverse gable grip locked up and I sit back from my choke, What I'm doing is rather than lifting here, instead I just keep my grip tight, and then I'm taking this shoulder where I've got the armpit above his head, and I'm just going to lean it down. And by doing that, I'm pushing his head down into the blade of my wrist. There's two ways to finish chokes. Number one is you take a fulcrum, you put it up against his neck, and you push it into his neck. Number two is you leave the fulcrum in place, you pull or push the guy's head over your fulcrum. What I'm doing here is I'm pushing his neck over the fulcrum of my arm by dropping this shoulder down and twisting slightly. By doing that, I can get a highly efficient choke. As soon as he tries to sit up, he thinks he's out of danger. He's actually in a whole lot of danger. So from the beginning, I'm controlling side control. He's gotten up to his side. I stick my overhook in, wrap the head, grab the elbow, push that out, slide my knee in place. Now get free rein to wrap his head. I put my reverse gable grip in place. Back up a little bit. Donovan sees daylight. He's coming up. Right there to the hip, right across the back. Squeeze. Get the tap. Arm in guillotine.